Doing everybody? Hello. Welcome back to another episode of God Concept Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan, back at you again, jamming like a mug. I'm surprised the music kept playing, and I'm happy it did. Man, I'm down here at the Hoagie Fest. Y'all gonna come through the Hoagie Fest. You know what I mean? Enjoy some good hoagie, some good music. They down here jamming. You know what I mean? Getting it in, doing their thing. You know, I had to really come to a good space in order to do my podcast. So I be trying to do my podcast anywhere I pop up at. And yeah, that's a good thing that, you know what I mean, that I could work through adversity, right? I always, attempt to put something out, even through adversities and everything. But truthfully, it's nothing like being in a place where you can find some type of tranquility when you're trying to create anything, man. It's hard. It's hard. Trust me, if you've been a fan of my podcast that I've been had going on for a long time now, I'm very passionate and I've always searched for that tranquil space that I can really get into and create and continue to create. You know what I mean? And it's hard to find that space, especially when your environment, nobody around you even care about, is really into the things that you into. You know what I mean? Sometimes they are, but they mind is elsewhere. You know what I mean? And it's hot as fuck out here too. So stay cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trauma and stress, man. All this great shit looking like Victor Vaughn, some fucking body out here, or like it's trauma and stress, man. You know? You come in this world, you don't know about all this trauma and stress that's here, right? When you come into this world, right? We come in this joint, we don't know all about the trauma and stress that's going on. You know what I mean? We don't know the things that we're gonna face when we're 10, when we're 20, when we're 30. You know what I mean? But it's all trauma and stress. We gotta let each other avoid trauma and stress by not introducing new trauma and stress. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't even, acknowledge that others is going through something. Others got this going on. Others got that going on. You know what I mean? We gotta be more conscious of that shit. You know what I mean? We gotta be more conscious of our conscience because sometimes subconsciously we speak hatred in a room full of people and we don't know. Like, all right, some people is not on that level where they, could receive that, but some people receive that. You know what I mean? Some people receive it in a different way. There's too much hatred going on right now. It's too much trauma and stress being dealt by the world to people. You know what I mean? It's too much. I don't want to be one of those ones to introduce any more trauma or stress into anyone's life. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be, you know what I mean? I don't want anybody's trauma and stress, and I don't want to be the, you know what I mean, the introducer of trauma and stress. You know what I mean? Just try and move on to bigger and better things at this point. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people doing good things out here, you know what I mean, all over the fucking place. You know what I mean? And I see it, I recognize it. I see on social media everybody's bubbling and shit like that. I'm not really one of them big social media guys. I try for the sake of my podcast, for the sake of my music, for the sake of my books and any content that I'm pushing out. But I'm not really big on sharing my life and things like that. I only got big into it because shit, in the last, I say 3, 4 years, I don't went through so much shit, you know what I mean, on so many levels. You know what I mean? It's like a shit storm just got thrown at me. You know what I mean? And I had to deal with this shit and process this shit and figure all this shit out at the same time. You know what I mean? What I found out is, you know, pretty disturbing, pretty you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's mind altering. You know what I mean? When you figure out certain things about lineage, about life, about how it connects, about people not even understanding that the world is a masquerade, right? I was just listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? I understand why the world is a masquerade now, but many won't. You know, you're born into this vessel, you're given a name, but your soul has a has an entirely different identity than the one you perceive yourself to be. And you out here in the world like that, and you moving around people, and you placed around people, and you don't even realize it. You know what I mean? It's like a search. You know what I mean? It's like a soul search, man. Sometimes you're gonna find the souls you're supposed to be around. Most times, you're gonna be surrounded by souls that you're not supposed to be around. You got to figure that out and just really avoid the trauma and stress that they introduce to you in your life, in your daily existence. You know what I mean? And maintain who you are. Maintain who you are throughout the bullshit. You know what I mean? From people, from the system, from governments, from this place, from that place, from whomever. You got to weed that shit out, man. You know, have your own theocracy, build it strong, stand on it. You know, maintain your mental fortitude. You know what I mean? Because we truly live in a dichotomy, and it's up to you to, transcend what you're in. You know what I mean? It's purely up to you to transcend what you're in. You know what I mean? They're gonna put obstacles, hurdles in your way that you never seen coming, ones that you never even thought possible. You know what I mean? But you got to keep moving. You got to keep going. I realized that a lot of people. I'm an observer. Y'all know that. I keep saying this shit, but I realized that a lot of people, they let this shit like literally drive them crazy. Like some people just can't handle who they are. They can't handle, like, okay, you could be a good person, but get a bad soul entity, right? Because you can have a personality, a characteristic, and that's exhibited, in your person, right? But it's coming outwardly from your soul, right? From your existence, right? So that soul has a personality and characteristic, has a face of its own, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, they can't handle what's coming out of them. They can't handle the thoughts that they have. They can't handle the mission, the task that's been placed upon them. Some of them, they play the role too well, man. Some of them, they play the role too well, man. Be wary of these people, man. People smile in your face, stab you in the back all fucking day. You know what I mean? I understand what's going on. You know what I mean? If you genuinely showing me love, that's one thing. If you're not, then just keep your distance. Cause I can feel that shit. You know what I mean? I'm 38 years old now. It's to a point where, and I'm pretty sure it's to this point with a lot of you. You can feel when something's not genuine. Sometimes I'll just be off in my mind and you'll feel like the disconnect. And I'll be in my mind not thinking about the situation, like thinking about just feelings. Just thinking about, you know, where I'm supposed to be versus where I am. You know what I mean? The conversation that's being had versus the one that's not being had. You know what I mean? There's a lot of conversations that should be had, but they don't be had. So they shouldn't have to be. You know what I mean? Certain conversations shouldn't even be. They shouldn't have to be had. But nowadays, with a lack of respect of everyone, with a lack of understanding of everyone, and that's where the lack of respect really comes from a lack of understanding. You think just because something's right from your point of view is supposed to be right from everybody's point of view, but it's just not. Because it wouldn't be your point of view if somebody else had it. It would be the broad point of view or something like that. Or you know what I mean? Everybody would just have the same point of view and think the same and act the same and just, you know what I mean? They would have, but none of us are the same. None of us got the same soul in us. Yeah, we all connected and created, you know what I mean? It all emanates from one place, but none of us have that same soul in us. Yeah, we have one creator, but that one creator created many characters, personalities, many life stories, many lineages, many this and that. And then we crossing lineages and stuff like this. Some of us been stolen from our homeland. Some of us floated here willingly from our homeland. The rhetoric and hypocrisy that's going on today in today's times is just astronomical, more than it's ever been. They lied to you, and they've been doing this, and you've been living in a lie for so long that you see the lie as the truth. And it's been this way for so fucking long, and I just hear people regurgitating rhetoric and misnomers about shit, just dumb shit. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. I have no rhyme, no reason. I just have a mission. You know what I mean? I got rhymes. Yeah, I got reasons for having rhymes. I just got a mission. You know, I'm still working on my shit quietly. I'm still working on my shit quietly. Still working on my shit quietly. One thing about it is I love congratulating. You know what I mean? I love seeing somebody come up and shit like that. I love that. You know what I mean? But I'm not really focused on anybody's, oh, before I say that, want to congratulate my son. He, moved on to high school and everything, the next level of his education. You know what I mean? I felt proud, blessed to be there and record that and everything. And that's another thing that fucks me up, man. I'm going through so much. Like, I put my life out here on the social media shit, right? I message people, try to get help, all that type of shit. Cause I'm a normal dude. You know what I mean? I reach out to people when I need help because people reach out to me, right? When I'm going through stress and turmoil, I reached out to people and they like ones that I've been there for, ones that I don't even know, different people who I know got influence and power and this and that. You know what I mean? And they just like what the fuck could I say? I can't make a person eyes open up to the plight of another person, right? And it really affects me and hits me. It hits home when it's you actually going through that type of shit. It hits home a little bit more. It hit home a lot more because you hear about this type of shit. You hear about certain people going through shit and them just not getting any help from authorities, any type of community, any type of people they trying to reach out to. You hear these stories, right? And I've been living this story for a while now, and I'm like, I understand that shit now. Like when a person say, "Well, why ain't you do this? Why ain't you do that?" They was trying to do that. The person do be trying to get help. A person be reaching out and all that type of shit. But y'all just keep watching this motherfucker just slide downward and downward and downward and pretend and act like y'all don't see what's going on. It's either because you're fearful of whomever's controlling the system, or you just don't give a fuck, man. Either you know about it and you're made to allow that shit to happen, or it's a reason why we allow certain shit to go in one ear and out the other. Or we see things and let it pass by as if we have a blind eye or something, as if we're blind to the plights of others. When I see others go through shit, it affect me because I really do care, right? But at the same time, it give you that, like me going through all this shit for years and nobody ever really giving a fuck, right? It kind of make me like, why the fuck do I care about the plights of others? Like, why do I care? I care because I understand. I'm gonna tell you why I care. It's because I understand. I understand what you're going through. I understand because I've been through it several times, on several levels, on several occasions, in several, many different ways and situations. I've been through it. I'm going through it now, and I never stop going through it. So when I see a person lose it and not be able to control their shit, right? I understand, right? Because there's so many times when I'm having thoughts and I'm having emotion and pent up anger that I'm dealing with, or just whatever it is. And then on top of that, I'm getting bullshit or stress or trauma from somebody else that I never asked for, right? And at that point, you just want to explode, right? But if you do that, what do you lose? You lose control. You not only lose physical control because now you out of control, you fuck around, hurt somebody and kill somebody or do whatever it is, but you also lose control. You lose your fucking freedom, right? Because now you're gonna go to jail, you're gonna go through this, you're gonna go through that, you might lose your life, right? A lot of things you can lose by losing control, by losing your temper. And people will push you to do that shit. People will push you to really lose your temper, lose your cool by introducing stress and trauma into your life on a daily basis. And you never know when it's going to come. It just comes, man. It just comes from others not being able to control the things that come out their mouth, being able to control things that's on their mind, control their lustful instincts and their eyes, things like this. You know what I mean? I don't mind a person looking in my direction, right? I don't mind that, right? But it's the mind I worry about. It's not the eyes I worry about, right? Because all of us are supposed to be viewed. We're all supposed to be seen, right? But it's the mind. It's the mind that's viewing me, right? What state of mind are you in? What state of mind are you in while you have me in your eyes shot? What state of mind are you in? What are you thinking about? Those are the things that transcends, and those are the things that causes actions to happen. See what I'm saying? What's on your mind? What's your mental state? And I realized that a lot of people have been through so many things in their life that they just have fucked up mental states. They just have really, really, really fucked up mental states. And I've dealt with this. Listen, I have a mother with a fucked up mental state, right? I'm holding no punches. I love her to death. This is my mother I'm talking about, right? This is the woman whose womb I slid out of and was born into this world, right? Yeah. But her mental state can fuck with me because I didn't I don't have a fucked up mental state. I don't have like I'm not in a fucked up mindset. I don't have like I could treat a person good, even if I know that a fucked up person or whatever. I still could treat a person. But man, it's like I'm only bringing it up because you know what I mean. You got to understand. You gotta understand. I'm gonna be real about this. Absolutely fucking real, right? A lot of the things that happened in my life was connected to my family, right? So I'm gonna leave that there, right? It's connected directly to my family, my mom, her peoples, and all that. My people, basically, right? A lot of shit that happened. I mean, not all of that, because it was a lot of shit that happened in my life. It was a whole clusterfuck of shit, right? But I realized that I'm just different from them. You know what I mean? I'm different. You could be raised around a person, you could be this and that, you could be blood, but you're not really spiritual family. You see what I'm saying? You connect with them, yeah, because you know what I mean, you're people, you connect with people. But when a family or a friend or whomever allow you to be fucked over and just hit rock bottom and don't offer no type of help, assistance, give no fucks about what you're going through, then that's not family, that's not friend, that's not that. You know what I mean? I'm not from I'm not from Chicago, but I'm still from the fucking show me state. You know what I mean? And I take what you show me. I take what you show for face value. Whatever you present, that's what I take. Because you can show one thing and do a whole nother, right? And that's what a lot of people do. They'll say, "Oh, I love you," this and that, but the actions are ones of no love. How you say you love me, but your actions show that you don't? How you say you care, but your actions say that you don't really give a fuck? That's what matters. See, anybody could say my actions is this, my actions is that, but one thing they can't say is that I ever showed the person that I don't care about them. I may show you I don't give a fuck, and I do that intentionally. I might ignore you when you're saying something this that because you know you presenting bullshit, right? And I'm not gonna be a I'm not an asshole to the point. I am a bit of an asshole, but I'm not an asshole to the point where I'm be like, yo, get the fuck out my face with this and that. Even though it might start to get there. Like I mean, you gotta be that way sometimes, right? You gotta be like, yo, get the fuck out my face, this and that. Just go ahead. But at the same time, it's like I'm not that type of asshole. I'll let you spill your spill so this way I get mm, a clear perspective on how you think and who you are, right? I mean, that's just me as I listen to Bill Withers. Yeah, but man, the stress and the trauma, man, stay away from it. I don't care what you need. I don't care what you're going through. Just know that it's something in you that's always guiding you through any situation that you're in, that you've been through. It's something in you that's guiding you. You never walk alone. So just walk with it. Walk in courage. Walk in courage. You know, walk with wisdom. Walk with courage. Because some of the wisest men ain't all that's cracked up to be. I want to pause this music that's playing in my ears so bad because a commercial just came on and it's loud as shit. So yeah, man, you gotta, you know, just persevere through it all, man, and maintain your mental fortitude. I can't stress that enough. I see so many of our people out here, man, like people in general, not just, people in general who's lost their mental fortitude. They lost their mental fortitude or gave it up willingly because it's like they get on disability and they act. You know what I mean? They act in a certain way for so long that it just becomes natural. It just becomes natural for them to act that fucking way. And now they fucking retarded. Now they fucking crazy, deranged. Now they fucking mind, and they really on disability. but they're not really crazy. They just been acting that way for so long and had people telling them they crazy for so long and been on medication for so long that now, you know, stop faking, man. Be you. Be real. And I'm not talking about these motherfuckers who say real. Oh, motherfucker, you fake, you phony up. If you real, you ain't calling nobody else fake or phony. If you real, you ain't got no time to worry about nobody else's shit, nobody else's business. You ain't worried about. You just being you. You just doing your thing. You're not letting nobody bother you for nothing. That's real. I mean, you're not. You ain't letting nothing, no small shit get on your nerves and all that. That's real. You know what I mean? You're not, man. A real motherfucker gonna help you out. A real motherfucker gonna talk to you. A real motherfucker gonna try to help you through your situations. A real motherfucker gonna try to, you know what I mean? A real motherfucker gonna be there for you. That's what real motherfuckers do. These other so-called real people, they supposed to be real, and they don't help you or do nothing for you or just talk shit or this, that, they not real. They the fakest niggas in the world. Them are the fakest niggas in the world. Hate that shit, man. It's the plight. We are our own plight. It's crazy. We are our own fucking plight. And if you got any type of common sense, they try to act like you the problem. I can't do it. Once I notice what I'm dealing with, I get away from it. I notice and I also notice things about me. I'm not just out here nitpicking, right? I notice things about me too. I got a problem maintaining focus on a conversation for too long. I'm not gonna lie, I'm working on that shit. That's why I'll sit up here and have a conversation with somebody and just let them talk and just let them talk for a fucking hour if they want to, right? Because I'm working on maintaining my focus on a conversation that I'm having with a person. You know what I mean? At a time, because I will just drift off. You'll see it. I have this blank stare, and I'm there. We're having this conversation. You having this conversation, but I'm not really in the conversations. I can't maintain focus on a conversation for long periods of time, especially if it's not a conversation that I'm interested in having. But sometimes you got to have conversations that you're not interested in at the moment. So, you know, they down there arguing like a motherfucker. So my beats. Oh man, yeah, man. People weird. People is weird. Ah, yeah, man. I'm gonna give. I'm gonna take this opportunity, right, to say, if you want to leave any comments, questions, anything like that, please fucking do. You know what I mean? We looking for views and likes and clicks and response. I don't give a fuck if it's negative. I hope it's positive though. But I gotta stretch my leg. That's what I'm doing now. Yeah, I hope it's positive always. But at the same time, man, I ain't know this line was gonna be down here. I hope I could block out the background noise. I'm gonna post a video of the John right here because she telling somebody to be quiet back here. She telling them fiercely. He is furious about them talking. Oh, she was furious. Fast and the Furious. Yeah. See, uh, my ankle is Fuck, I know it is. My ankle hurt like a motherfucker right now. Mm, you know, it's so much shit. God, yeah, you gonna take it back to that. I got the music playing on my headphones. Dancing, dancing, the dancing machine. It's not MJ. She's a dancing machine. Yeah, man. About to get back on my joint, y'all. About to get back on my joint. I mean, not that I ever was off my joint, but I just be processing. I just, after all this trauma and stress, I'm just, all of us need to process what we've been through, man. All of us need to process what we've been through. We need to really just evaluate ourselves. Self-evaluation is very crucial, very important. Um, if you feel like you're a person who needs therapy or anything like that, go out there and get that therapy. Because I'm gonna tell you, in these past few days, I've been regretting not actually going to get therapy. You know what I mean, and get diagnosed with different things. Because I know I got things wrong with me. You know what I mean? I'm not here to act like I'm perfect. Ain't nothing wrong with me as well. All of us got something fucked up with us. But it's important to get diagnosed with the things that's wrong with you. So this way you have a record of, okay, this is wrong with this man, this is going on with this girl, this is going on. You know what I mean? So this way, if you can't take a certain job or you already know about that because you accepted it, you've been diagnosed with this, and okay, now I'm the type of person I can't do this type of work, I can't do this type of work, or this sets me off, this or that. This way you don't got people just out here um doing things that's not good for their mental state or whatever it is they dealing with. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us just aren't equipped to deal with a lot of the shit that we deal with on a daily basis. You know what I mean? And if you're not equipped to deal with certain things on a daily basis, you shouldn't be forced to deal with that. You shouldn't force yourself to deal with that. You should acknowledge that you got a problem in this area. You should acknowledge that you got a problem. So when you're going through these mood swings or whatever it is, you can know to stay away from people, when to interact with people, when to stay alone, when to you know what I mean? They should have that type of thing. You should really get evaluated. So this way, if you do have one of those disabilities, right, that a lot of people fake, right? If you really have one, you'll be getting medicine for it. You'll be getting help with it. You'll be getting the proper funding that you need. You'll be getting, i.e., a check. I mean, who don't want a fucking check? You get paid for whatever's going on with you. You know what I mean? I just wish there wasn't people out here exploiting people. You have groups of people out here who exploit people who they know family may have a history or a legacy of having certain disabilities or certain things wrong with them, right? They'll find different people with certain whatever's going on with them in their life, whether that's just a situation, whether it's mental health, whether there's just a life situation, whatever, and they exploit that, right? That's what happened to me. They exploit that shit, right? They exploit you, they fuck your life up. They exploit you, take what they need from you and discard you and hope that you lose your cool, that you lose your shit. So this way you wind up dead in jail or in a crazy hospital, this or that. I'm telling you. I know it for a fact because I know personally people that they did this to. And I'm dealing with this shit. And I'm realizing this shit. And I'm wondering why it's taking so long for everybody else to realize that shit. That there's a Ponzi scheme, pawns. My mom like to call people pawns and shit like that. I think a lot of people know the spirit they possess too, but I digress on that. But yeah, man, telling you, I, I agree with my mom on that. Right, I agree with her because she called people pawns, and that's because they don't even understand the moves that they making, or they not even control of the moves they making. Who's to say? You know what I mean? I would like to think I'm in control of the moves that I'm making, but what if I'm not? What if I'm not in control of the moves that I'm making? What if I am? Let's think about it from that angle. What if I am in control of the moves that I'm making, right? Yikes. Who would that be bad for? Who would that be bad for? Me being in control of the moves that I'm making. That would be bad for a lot of fucking people. I'm not trying to hurt nobody, right? Physically, legally, you know what I mean? Spiritually, But if you do dirt, then you got to pay for the shit that you do. And I think the waiter has passed you your fucking bill. You know what I mean? You have to pay up for the nut shit that you do to people. You know what I mean? You got people from South Philly who exploit people in North Philly because they know North Philly is, you know what I mean? So you got these motherfuckers over here that'll plan to steal your family's house, steal your property, exploit your family in all different types of ways. They do that shit. It's all under one banner, one umbrella. Because everything is known about. You know what I mean? All this shit is known about. The feds, your local governments, all of this shit is controlled. That's why the kingpins remain the kingpins, right? The ones who really push the weight, the big bull, that's why he remained the big bull. Because he got big bulls. You know what I'm saying? He got somebody that he reports to or whatever, and they got somebody they report to. And more than likely, they might not know that they in these offices, but they're in these fucking offices. You see what I'm saying? Shit ain't right. I'm sick of the hypocrisy that goes on around here. I mean, me personally. And now, from what I'm hearing, we can't even leave the U.S. I don't even. I want to get my family. I want to remain in the U.S. because this, you know what I mean. It's hometown, but home, whatever, home country or whatever. But at the same time, it's like my country literally, you know, did some fuck shit to my ancestors. Like this country literally had, well, what seems to me an axe to grind against a people that I share heritage with, right? That I share genetics with, right? They fucked my dad's life up using my mother. Before that, they did it in ways too. And then they tried the same thing with me, you know, and fucked my Uncle Freddie's life up using, you know, a lady's name that I shall not, say. And they fucked my life up using a lady whose name I shall not say at this moment. And it's sad because, you know, when you notice that nothing happens by coincidence, you realize that they can actually sit up here and basically place a schematic on top of your life, especially when you're within a city. When you're within a city, they can put the schematic on top of your life, man. And a lot of people don't even realize that they have a schematic placed, you know, and they just walking through a monopoly board. You just walking blindly through a monopoly board. You thinking that you in control. You thinking you have this. You thinking you have this, but you really don't. Because at any moment they can introduce a situation to you, that's gonna make you boop, and you're gonna lose whatever it is that they want. Man, take that shit from you. So you really have nothing. The only way you have something is when you have control. You have to control yourself, control your urges, control your temperament, control your thoughts, control the things that you say and that you speak into existence. Control, man. Have self control, or somebody will control you. They always do. So have self control, man. Exercise self control, exercise mental fortitude. 'Cause if they can make you lose control, they could take anything from you. Take anything you think that you got, anything you think that you building. It's really just at a whim or whisper of disrespect or something, that you don't agree with. You'll say the words and make the actions that'll make you lose everything. So, yeah. But yeah, man, this has been a good episode. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? I'm thankful. I'm always thankful. My window, watch her as she passes by. Say to myself, I'm such a lucky guy to have a girl like her is truly a dream come true. Out of all the fellas in the world, she belongs to you. And it was just my imagination. Ooh, running away with me. Damn. Was just my imagination running away with me. Ooh. Soon we'll be married and raise a family. Man, trying his body armor. It's popping. All right, well, that's my episode of God Concept Podcast. Please support all the content, uh, the books, the music, the podcast, of course. Go follow, like, share, subscribe. Get them up there, man. I appreciate all of you guys. Stay blessed. Stay stress free. Stay trauma less if you can, man. And just stay in control. You know what I mean? Mr. Pagan, Mr. Pagan, God Concept Podcast, signing out. Peace.